North Dayton Garden Center.
Well, here at North Dayton Garden Center, we have thousands of lovely bonsai. Here we have a lovely 12-year-old Sarissa. Sarissa is also noted as being a tree of 1,000 stars. They will have little small white flowers on them a little bit later on in the summertime. A nice lovely plant to work with, however one that needs a lot of sunlight. So not for the faint of heart or the darkened room situation. Here we have some juniper bonsais. Remember, these are for more outdoor use or in a very, very cool room situation. We have many different bonsai on hand here at North Dayton Garden Center. Most of these have good age to them. Here is an 8-year-old Procumbens nana. This here is a 22-year-old Japanese maple. Now you see, for the wintertime it's dormant. Now in the spring, when we do really get warm, this is going to begin to have foliage to come out. And you can see different Japanese maples that we have. Even much older ones here that have a very unique look to them. This is our 35-year-old Procumbens nana. Again, all trimmed up. We were trimming on it last month when we shot, but we finished it all up. She's looking real good. One of many of the older plants that we've had for a period of time. It's cold outside, but here in the bonsai houses, it's wonderful temperature. People come in during their lunch hour and enjoy looking around and relaxing. So now I'm going to show you how I am going to lightly trim up one of our older existing 20-year-old Zelkova trees. Now these Zelkovas have always been a wonderful plant to utilize as a bonsai because of the ease of their care. It is something that they grow in most light conditions. As long as you have a good window, they will actually thrive. Now, of course, as with all bonsai and all plants in general, watering, fertilizing, all of that needs to be done. That's all very, very important. But what I'm doing is trimming away some of the growth that has happened in the past 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks in some cases, and I'm trying to give our plant a little bit more of a individuality to each of the branching segments. And this gives you a better proportioning to the plant to have a, how do I want to say, a more traditional looking bonsai. Now, in my opinion, I am not someone that will follow all of the books that says this tree has to be trimmed this exact way. The very best recognition is when your friend comes over and they're looking at your bonsai trees and they say, "Oh, that's awesome. I like that." That's what I want. That's the recognition that I want. I do not necessarily worry about how many centimeters one branch is off to one side or the other. But of course there are people that do want to have that situation, and that's fine. Now when trimming your bonsai, you really must be slow. I have been doing this since I was very young, so things come a little more natural to me. But there will be a moment here where I will take off main branches. These main branches that I take off help to define the individuality of the rest of the branches. But I give you a fair warning. Just like a carpenter, you look twice before you cut, because once that branch is removed, that's it. The best part about growing and working with bonsai is the tranquility that you get from taking some time out from the busy day, coming to your plant, talking to it, and yes, I mean talking to your plants. They enjoy hearing the vibrations of your voice. That's why also I do keep music on around my plants too, whenever possible. It always helps to make the plants grow better. It's tranquility for people too. And it's very important that you check your bonsai almost every day. Talk to them every day if you need to. It'll help you out. Here's one of them spots where I'm checking to see exactly what branch I want to remove and what branch I want to keep. And I'm having to look in multiple directions here. Sometimes you got to use your imagination. You know, it's something that I see that's 2 main branches so far that we've taken off that have been growing there for 3 years. But yet now it was time to change the look. And that's also what's unique about bonsai. You can do whatever you want. There is not necessarily a wrong way to do things if you yourself are happy in working with your bonsai plant. And again, that tranquility edge helps all of us in this crazy time period of our lives. And you see we're showing a little more definition, a little bit more opening up down in here in the bottom. Remember the question about a lot of people wanting to know when to transplant their bonsai. Well, bonsai will go for anywhere from 3 to maybe 4 or 5 years between transplantings, depending on the dish size. Now this pot is about 13 inches, so it's a rather large container. This particular plant has been in here now about 5 years, and I really anticipate that I will be able to leave this in here at least another year. Now, when it does come time to transplant, there are things that have to be done to the roots to check for too much spiraling. All of that really has to be done in a very timely manner, because if roots get too spiraled up down in these containers, they are much harder to untangle when it does come time to transplant them again the next time. So we have to do what's called a root pruning. And root prunings do take a lot of time, no doubt. But for right now, we are still trimming up Mr. Zelkova here to give him that highly defined pom-pom bonsai type look. Another question many people have about bonsai is exactly how to water them. Now, one of the important things that you remember, submerging the plant down into like your kitchen sink will give you a good deep watering down inside the core of the root system. Plants can be submerged to where they have maybe an inch of water over top of the root system, or you can even leave it a little shallower than that and give it a period of time to soak it up. That could take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe 15. However, if you have a bonsai that's been freshly transplanted, you want to resist the submerging completely down into water, because the roots are not holding your soil in place as well. So therefore, you will end up having the plant to float out of its britches, out of its pottery. So you must be very careful. But for the most part, once it's been growing for about 4 or 5 months in its new container situation, maybe 6 months, you are able to submerge that plant safely. But again, the first few times, cautiously do it. Slowly submerge it down in there. Sometimes they say when the bubbles stop, then that's a time period to take it out. I usually say I go a little longer than that, but I do pay attention to the plant for a few minutes. Don't just go walk off and leave it and do something else and forget about it where it's sitting in water for a long period of time. But watch it and then take it out, let it set off to the side and drain the excess water out.